Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Alexiats here. Thursday morning, we're playing the second game against the Charlotte Hornets of 2 at Toronto. It's a rainy day here in Toronto in the 416 this morning. Let's get right to it. Good morning to you guys in the comments. Jimmy Pope, high five, bam. I can't see Nameless's comment, but it's all good. Monique, good morning, everyone. Let's go streaking again. 3 straight happy game days. So much in episode 3 of Hustle Play for the season. Definitely love how Mike Roach got his head. Chris Boucher's documentary is coming out soon to TSN. Yeah, I watched that Hustle Play episode twice yesterday because I wanted to hear everything that was said on it twice. No guest on this episode, just Mike Roach and Chris Boucher checking in, talking about things. And, I like a lot of it. In fact, what Chris is saying is really important for everybody to hear. He comes down on people being critical of the Raptors too much. He calls out bandwagon fans, people that don't root for them when they're not doing well, and then they only hang around when they're doing well. He said a lot in that interview. I highly recommend everyone watching Chris Boucher's latest episode of Hustle Play because he's real about it, and he really is kind of saying everything. It's one of the most important things he said is he still believes that the Toronto Raptors are going to make the playoffs this year, and that he really does think that they're a really good team and that they've just been having a perfect storm of different problems all happening to derail the season like this. But he believes in this team, and he bet that this team is going to be in the playoffs this year, and he means it. So we should still expect the Raptors to be playing their ass off and trying to win enough to get in the playoffs. Also, Mike Roach, once again, why do you do this? You did the Aaron Rose. You asked him about trades. And I'm like, dude, you're the host, and you should know this is stupid to ask him. I'm kind of annoyed with you. You say, oh, this is that time of year. It's my favorite time of year in some ways. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean it's your favorite time of the year? Trade season, Mike Roach. And then you go proceed to ask him. And like Chris said, no, I don't think about this. It's very much the same answer you guys are going to get from every single Toronto Raptor when you ask them about trade deadline season. When you start asking them about, oh, this period of time when it's trades, these guys don't want to think about that shit. And they really, really get annoyed because, like, listen, it's heartbreaking. It's like, listen, if you had the trade season represents losing your friends. So why would he be overjoyed or excited about it or even paying attention to it? He does not pay attention to it. He just puts his head down, does his work, and shows up. And he doesn't want to think about the possibility of people getting traded. And he also recognizes when the team's not doing well, like they have recently, that there is a higher chance of somebody getting traded. Chris said all this, but it's so sad when he's talking to this. And Mike Roach, you're a little too flippant or a little too casual about this and not being very considerate of Chris when you ask this question, because you asked these damn questions last year and you got the same damn answer. So when are you going to figure out, Aaron Rose, Mike Roach, that trade questions are stupid to ask the Raptor players? What do you expect them to say? Yeah, trade season's exciting. Any one of us could be gone at any moment, and it's so fun. Ooh, yeah, I enjoy that looming, awful possibility that people get traded. It's like, seriously, journalists, who the fuck likes trade season if they're a player? Really, who does? Come on, use some logic, use some intelligence, and understand that asking about trade season to play NBA players is stupid. It's dumb. You ask front office, maybe you ask the coach, but you never ask the players. It's so stupid. And until Aaron Rose figures that out, Mike Roach, you dumbass, you're friends with Chris, you're doing the show, and you just sound stupid when you ask that question. Oh my gosh, you sound so stupid when you ask that question. I love a lot of what Chris was saying on there. In fact, he's recognizing the noise on Twitter and stuff, and he's standing with us, y'all. In fact, it might have been like in that Hustle Play episode, he is talking about Raptor freaks. He's talking about positive Raptor fans, people sticking with the team, people not coming after them, people not being totally critical, people staying positive, people that are supporting the team blindly, whether they're up or down, that care about them doing well. He recognizes us and appreciates us in that hustle play. He really does make overtures talking about how he hears the noise. He hears all the people coming after Fred. He hears all the people coming after Scotty. He hears all the people coming after Nick Nurse. And he's just like sick of it because it doesn't help anything. They're already in a down and a bad place. And the fans just make it 10 times worse with all their bullshit noise. So, yeah, really good hustle play, very illuminating. Chris said a couple of things that were like, wow, I didn't realize that. He did actually very much say exactly what I've been saying that he would say anyway about trade season is that, like, look, Mike Roach framed it this way. He said, Chris, you're the kind of player that could go play for a lot of teams on this league. You're attractive to many teams in this league. That's why you should be thinking about trade season. And then Chris turned around and said, listen, man, I don't want to go to other teams. I don't want to be on another team in the league. Toronto is where I want to be because I realize that if I get traded to another team, that I have to start all over again with proving myself to that team, getting ingratiated and fighting for playing time and even getting in the rotation and all that. And it sucks. I don't want to build all that back up again by getting moved. And this is probably a very common sentiment among NBA players. They're not looking to get traded like they change their underwear. That every situation you get moved to is a challenge and that you have to navigate it and get back to the point where you may get to play again. Because you get traded, there's no guarantees on anything. And Chris realizes this. He said it with his own words in this Hustle Play episode, talking about how, there's no guarantees. You could get traded and the other team may not be a fit completely. And then you don't get playing time. And then boom, you're out of the league. So Chris really spelled that out for Mike Roach yesterday. And I hope he realizes Chris is not looking to get traded. He doesn't lust or thirst to be on another team in the NBA because he realizes that he has it good here in Toronto and that he doesn't want to go somewhere else. And that is probably common among a lot of NBA players who aren't top tier players. Sure, those top free agents, those guys that will go to any team and they'll get playing time no matter what, it doesn't matter as much. But if you're a bench guy or a role player, yeah, this could matter a lot more about getting traded to another team. So just wanted to cover the Hustle Play podcast since Monique brought it up. And these are the important points. Chris recognizes the real Raptor fans, the positive ones like us. He's also like, lay off negative ones. I'm sick of y'all's trash. He's also like calling out bandwagon fans, telling them, if you're going to root for us when we're up and winning championships, you better root for us when we're down and not be a turncoat or like flipping on us. And also he set Mike Roach straight about trade talk. So all kinds of interesting stuff in there. He talked more about the Degeneration X with Precious, talking all about his teammates, talking about the leadership of Fred VanVleet and how that baton was passed to him from Kyle Lowry and how Fred is one of the few guys on the team that he could come at Chris in a very aggressive, mean way, but he will respect it and take it as criticism because he trusts him like that as a leader. And that's Chris saying that about the only guy on the team that he could come at him in a certain way is Fred. And that he trusts him as a leader and that it's good intention because he knows it's coming from the same place of where he's coming from to compete and do the best as the Toronto Raptors. That means a lot. Consider that in juxtaposition with all the other noise around the team, like whether Fred's too much of a hard ass on Scotty and different things like that. Well, Chris is saying, listen, he has license on our team to dog people out because we respect him and he is our captain and we respect him for that. So there you go, negative ninnies, people trying to read into stuff. Scotty Barnes is listening to Fred because Fred's the captain. And he may look stern. He may look like he's dogging him out a little bit, but that is his job on the team. And Chris Boucher is saying that out of all the players on my team, I will listen to Fred, even if he's coming at me in a way that other people would piss me off if they came at me that way. So very interesting stuff. Once again, highly recommend Hustle Play. Chris Boucher and Mike Roach. Mike Roach, stop asking stupid questions, though. Let's just say that. All right, let's keep going. Mike's here, Logical Raptors Fanatic. Salute real ones, Project Truth always. Yes, Mike, keep that truth rolling. It's an important time in the Raptors' history right now where we need Project Truth to fight the fight against the stupid shit coming from the other side. Isaac Campbell saying early start must be game day on a winning streak. That's right. I got to get to the spot earlier than everyone. I got the ref information. I'm ready to roll at 9:10. Oh yeah, I'll get going right then because I have, you know what? I don't wait. If I'm ready to go on a game day, I will definitely be on early. That's right. It must be a game day. That's right. On a winning streak, too, Isaac Campbell. That is an important distinction to make. Hopefully, we're going tonight for 3. I was going to go to the game tonight, but I'm not sure if I'm going to go to the game tonight. I'm not hearing enough people that want to go or anything like that. It turned out to be just me and Adriana. It's a little awkward right now. So I think I'm not feeling that great either. And my wallet is a little bit of right now also. So I think I'm going to skip going to the game, even though I said I was going to go to the game today. I apologize. I will probably not be down there and at the meeting place like I've been saying all week. Things are just like the last couple of days have been kind of for me as far as like not feeling great. And then also kind of the money is a little crazy right now. Even with really high up in the gondola seats, it's still like $100. So it's like I was hoping the tickets would be a little bit less right now because they've been losing and things like that, but they're not. They're not. They're still just as high, and it's really annoying. Tom Duke saying hustle play was great. Shawn Michaels is ready to go. And yeah, Mike was trying to start stuff about trades. Hopefully that feeds his fire. Yeah, it's annoying. Chris is funny because one of the things Chris did was take credit for the great crowds at the Scotiabank Arena recently. And this is actually true. I remember an interview with him about 2 weeks ago saying that he really wants the fans to come and show up for this homestand. And I echoed what he said on this stream and said, for these games here in Toronto right now, we need to really come and help them with energy, even though they're in a tough place, because that can really, really help them. And they talked about it on a hustle play, saying that like the crowds have been really good, even though you guys have not been playing the best and have had a losing record recently. And he's saying, yeah, I was like, I like to think that I had a part in it because I said something about them coming out and doing that. So he's like trying to take credit for it. But in some ways, you're right, Chris. You did make that call out for our fans to come to the game and come correct. And a lot of us heard you. And I know that I echoed that sentiment when I heard you say that in an interview. So your voice was projected even further by people like me. And I hope this continues, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not coming to the game tonight, probably, Chris. But, everybody come to the game tonight. Be loud and give them that extra loud noise to help them. This is a tough situation. Listen, to beat the same team twice in a row in this situation is very hard. Nick talked about it in his practice interview yesterday that they have to make adjustments and change some things around from Tuesday's game, definitely for tonight, to have an even better chance to win tonight. And that's smart. That's very smart. This is a game of adjustments. This may not be a playoff series, as Matt Devlin put it, and it's kind of annoying, but you can still take things from the first game and make adjustments to improve for the second game. And that really is going to be a big part of what Nick Nurse is trying to do for tonight against Charlotte in the second game against them this week. So really, really capitalize on stuff he saw from the first game and really make it work really well today. So, yeah, I like it. Tom Duke saying, salute, freaks. Let's go. Game day. Let's get W number 3. Let's keep streaking, baby. Let's get win number 3 of this win streak. Take care of business. We have to get this game. This team we're playing tonight has only won 11 games this year. We need to continue to leave them at 11 wins and us come back and get another win tonight because we got to get on the right side of 500. And I'm going to tell you right now, we win tonight, we are in the play-in again. It's that jammed up and that close with Chicago and New York and Indiana and all these other teams that are around the play-in and stuff. So we need to win tonight. So we are back officially in the play-in. So that is something we can accomplish tonight if we win. Mike saying Boucher knows about real ones. Trust. It's known how NBA fandom is, and real ones are the cream of the crop. There we go. Yeah, these guys, especially with such bad examples of the other side, with people attacking people's families and just talking out of pocket and saying stupid shit. Yeah. The Raptors, and they're really appreciating fans that are just fans, unconditional fans that love the team and are supporting them and not full of shit or turning on them or insulting them or like writing hit pieces or like just talking out their ass about the players with no realistic grounding about the reality of what it takes to make the NBA and be a great basketball player. So there's a lot of people that are fucked up that are showing really bad examples. So as good examples, we need to shine too, to let them know that there are good fans out there still. Monique saying practice interview had me thinking very deep. Interesting. Let's go, boys. Woo! Monique, I love it. Yeah, the practice interviews were pretty good. Who did we have yesterday? We had Precious. I think we had Nick Nurse and we had Pascal once again. Pascal, or was it Fred? I don't remember. Oh no, it was Chris. It was Chris, Precious, and Nick. And a lot of what Chris said is bleeding over into the hustle play that I remember from yesterday too. But in both interviews, he mentioned the Shawn Michaels Triple H DX tag team connection between him and Precious. And it really is a really smart combo to keep together on the court for all kinds of reasons. Lolita saying, good morning, all Raptors freaks. Chris Boucher is so honest. Love him. He's just real. He's just a real person. And look, he didn't have to tell us, stuff about like the fans. He doesn't have to tell us his insight about trading. In fact, in some ways, his agent may be like, don't talk about that. That may be hurting you for money. Now everybody's not going to think you could leave, and Toronto will just give you whatever they want to give you. And he's like, don't talk like that, maybe. But no, Chris doesn't care. He's a real one. He's just saying how it is. I don't want to fucking go to another team. It sucks having to pack up, go to another place, and you have no guarantee that it's going to be any better. It probably will be worse than being in Toronto, especially for a Canadian guy who's already in his home country playing for a team in Canada. So yeah, really, really good interviews. Highly recommend. Hustle play. Bam, always. Nako saying we're probably winning this one, but we can't get too comfortable. No, not for sure. Nako, we definitely can't be too comfortable. Got to be very business-like, and we need to take this very seriously and have no mercy. This is the kind of thing where they say step on their throats, and I mean it. Yeah, they need to do this. They really need to like step on their throats as far as like no mercy and no let up and no like playing down to if they play shitty, don't play shitty with them. Play as best as you can and just make sure you get that W today, Raptors. And Nako, please come over for Saturday. Like you said you would. We'll watch the game against Atlanta. You could just come by for that one. How about that? That'd be good. Tom Duke saying light hearing Chris's attitude towards criticism and just how they are different and many leaders on this squad. Yeah. Yeah. And, Chris is like very much understanding what helps the team. They talked about the Nick Nurse private meetings, and Chris said very much needed, very much needed. So they totally understand when we're in a bad place, the coach needs to come and be a hard ass. And they need to respond and listen to him. And once again, there's so many things that are so positive about what's happened with the Raptors recently that's underlying all the turmoil. They have not turned on each other in any kind of way. They are a happy family. In fact, yesterday we saw them visiting Century Hospital out in Scarborough as a group. And what did we see on Fred VanVleet's Instagram? We saw a really funny video of Scotty Barnes, Fred celebrating Scotty Barnes blocking children's shots on a toy basketball hoop in the hospital. That Scotty was very he's funny when he's like this. He's like he was not letting them get anything, and he was blocking those little kids' shots. Like it was really kind of not fair, obviously. But Fred was laughing his ass off about it. He's just filming Scotty, and Scotty is like got like 3 or 4 little kids trying to score on his goal, and Scotty's just blocking every single thing they throw at the basket. And like it's like that comical, like I'm hitting it and it's going way across the room kind of thing. And Fred's rolling on the ground, like laughing, filming it, and put it on blast on Instagram. And there you go. People that think that there's a beef, a problem between Freddie and Scotty. Well, go look at Freddie's Instagram this morning and see the fun they were having with the kids out at the hospital yesterday. That wow, what a great trip. And it looked like most of them were there. It looked like everybody was there. I kept seeing new clips, and there's OG getting the Connect 4 out and putting it down. There's Fred, there's Pascal, there's Christian. They're all there. It's crazy. Nick Nurse, it was really, really good to see Malachi, all the Raptors out there doing community outreach at a hospital, visiting those kids that are having a tough time. And just so heartwarming. And I know they get a lot out of it themselves. This is something that grounds somebody. Like, you go and see, people dealing with in different situations, and you realize, like, wow, perspective. I really am lucky and blessed. And I really am very feeling like humanitarian more because I've gone and interacted with children that are in a bad place. And that's fantastic. That's really good work by the Raptors. We also saw some content yesterday where Pascal has dropped a new clip. He's talking about going after the rookie. Well, what did he do this week? He's like, we got to get Christian some more rookie duties because he's getting off easy with being a rookie in the NBA and not having to do like hazing things, like carry the Dora the Explorer backpack. Well, what did he do? He said, "You got to come and play me in FIFA, bro. That's right. You got to come into my place and we're going to sit down. We're going to play some FIFA video games and I'm going to kick your ass," is what Pascal was saying. And he did. He kicked Christian's ass at FIFA. It's kind of a advertisement for the game. It looked like it came in a little case, an attaché case or something like that, and they're playing on it. And Christian's excuse afterwards is the screen is too small. I cannot see the game, and that's why I lost. And he's telling Siakam, I would have beaten you if that screen was bigger and I couldn't see the screen very well. So that is what's the problem right here is in some ways they're doing an advertisement for a video game system or something like a case that has a video game in it. And Christian is dissing it because he can't see it. I'm sure the advertisers are real happy about that, the people that are advertising for. But yeah, fun stuff. FIFA matchups. Koloko, Siakam. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, it looks so fun and very competitive. Lots of talking trash. And I'll bet you Christian will get a rematch. And we'll see if he'll do better next time. But very, very good stuff there. I really love that. So good. G saying Fred posting Scotty's funny video from the hospital. So good. That's what I'm saying. What's wrong? Or is there a problem with this team? No. They've gone through a hard time and they stick to their guns and stuck together. They didn't point fingers. They didn't turn on each other. They didn't start saying, "Oh, this is this person's fault because they're getting too many shots." No, it was none of that. They stuck together through this hard time and they have not combusted in any kind of way where it's versus Raptor. None of that's going on. Nobody hates the coach. They all bought in with the coach still and believe in him and do what he says. And then the players still have respect for each other, and there's no internal conflict where people are mad at each other or pointing fingers or turning on each other. They've very much been very successful sailing the ship through losing and having hard times recently. And in fact, it looks like we're around the corner. It looks like this team has figured enough stuff out, maybe with the possibility of how to do the bench now with relation to the starters to get the best out of energy on the court. Finally, Nick, you figured some stuff out, and I think we're in good shape, and we're going to be doing better going forward now because we've got some stuff figured out, and we're mostly healthy at this point. In fact, let's do the injuries for tonight. They're the same as the other night. Same people out: Gordon Hayward, Kelly Oubre Jr. for Charlotte, and then Otto Porter Jr. for the Raptors, and that's it. Otherwise, I'll say Ron Harper Jr. and Delano Banton are with the 905. They will be playing the Detroit G League team tonight at the same time. So there's double duty once again for Raptor fans. If you're into both teams, 905 playing at the same time the Raptors are playing here at Scotiabank Arena. So we'll do all the injury reports. And I'm pretty sure that it is still how it has been. Joe Wieskamp, Jeff Doughton Jr. with the Toronto Raptors, and Ron Harper Jr. and Delano Banton with the 905. I think that's where they've gone. I may be incorrect, but that is the way it looked like it would be this week, that Jeff would be with the main team, and so would Joe, and then the other two guys will be down with them. So, yeah, let's see what else you guys are saying this morning. Monique is saying, has anyone scorekeeping last night? I believe the Hawks lost again. Let's go Raptors. Yeah, the Hawks are sliding a bit. They've got issues. I don't think DeJounte and Trae Young are a good fit. And their roster is lacking certain roles on it, too. They have holes to their roster. We need to beat their ass on Saturday night. Yeah, I want them to be struggling and having problems. So if they lost last night, Monique, I am all for it. Hey, that's cool with me. Logical Raptors Fanatics saying part of Nick's coaching is push the message. Everyone needs hobbies and distractions away from basketball, and Nick knows something refreshing. The mind can improve play and less overthinking, exhausted. Yeah, there was a little bit of this alluded to by Chris Boucher on the Hustle Play podcast this week. He said, "Listen, this is what he said. He said I heard Kyrie say that I went and played COD and I got my shot back going." So he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go play the video game," which what he did on Saturday. I was there. Was doing it to try and help his game and get his head off the game. That this is kind of going along with what you're saying about Nick's philosophy about having outside interests. They can take your mind off of the basketball. The basketball is all the time. Like Chris said it. Mike Roach asked him, he's like, "Do you think about the game afterwards?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm always thinking about what we could have done in the game better to try and win. Me specifically in certain plays that I could have done better. There's always a woulda, coulda, shoulda in some ways in your mind about how you could have done things better. And it's part of what drives you to get better and to do better the next time you get out on the court. But yeah, this distraction of playing Call of Duty for Chris this weekend, I think it was very fruitful. And he got that idea from Kyrie Irving. Kyrie said that he played Call of Duty to get himself kind of back in like the right mindset, and it worked. And well, Chris is kind of giving some credit to that for getting his mind off of things. Go play Call of Duty for a little while on Twitch. Forgetful's here. Good morning, Forgetful. I followed a live stream of a Dallas game the other day. The Mavs were losing, so of course the nattering nabobs of negativity were out in force. Fred VanVleet is available, said one. Let's get him. Laugh out loud. That's the thing. It's like, listen, what's happening with our fan nation happens in every fan nation. It's just that we want to minimize the ugliness, and especially the ugliness directly to players and their family. That is really stupid, and that is the biggest thing that's drawing my ire this week. Families of players should be off limits, y'all. I'm sorry. They're not on the court. They love their loved one unconditionally, and they're going to stand with them. If you come at them against their person, of course they're going to be pissed off at you. Of course they're going to block you. Of course they're going to think you're a piece of shit. And you are. They're right. Because listen, these people, they don't want to hear all your garbage. And why do you want to fight with them anyway? Why are you so combative and want to come at them like that? Like, what is it in your mindset that tells you, I need to go and get in an argument with Fred VanVleet's fiance? Like, what is it? What is it in your mindset that puts you in that place? Like, how sad and miserable do you have to be as a person to like do that? You're not looking at it from the outside. Maybe you're too ensconced in social media world where you're safe and there's a barrier and there's a keyboard. You're not actually face to face with this person because the shit that you say to the families of the players, you would not say to their face. Trust me, you would not say that shit to their face. If you were in the arena and you were anywhere near them, you would respect them and you wouldn't talk to them like that. So you look, keyboard warriors, you can say whatever you want through Twitter and come at Shanika Young or whoever. Yeah, you're safe that way. You're cowards. You talk shit behind a keyboard. And that's why I have no respect for y'all, because you know what? You would never say that shit to people's face. You know what I'm doing right now? You can see my face. And if you saw me in person, I would say everything I'm saying on this show to people's faces. Yeah, I would tell you, fuck you to Michael Grange. If I saw him for something he said, I would say fuck you to Michael Grange to his face. I would say fuck you to one of the reporters for being like that. I have no problem being rude and uncouth like that. And I'm crazy and 6'4". And they wouldn't come at me in some sort of way. Trust me, they wouldn't if they saw me in person. And that goes for anybody who's critical of me, wants to come at me or say something. I will say anything I say on this channel to anyone's face in public, in person. I will, trust me. But y'all are hiding and y'all are not able to say that yourselves. You would go and you would not say these things to the players' faces or the players' families' faces. If you had that opportunity, trust me, you would not. You would be chicken shits. So you go ahead and be keyboard warriors and be tough men behind the computer and say what you're going to say out of pocket because you feel like you can get away with it that way. Well, that's the only thing that saves you is the internet and social media. Because if it was anything like in real life and real place, yeah, you'd be going out the window just like Charles Barkley threw that fan out the window in Milwaukee. That's right. That is right. Bam, 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 bam. Monique saying Raptors received the inclusion award. It's the work they do. Yeah, this is a fantastic recognition of the Raptors franchise for being getting the inclusion award for just how they make up their structure of the employees. They have so many people from all walks of life, and they really are walking the walk that they talk. As far as being inclusive, being everyone, being progressive, being awoke franchise, they very much are with their practices and hiring and who are in the different positions, and they got recognition for it. That is fantastic. And you go MLSC, you go Toronto Raptors. I'm proud of this organization that I passionately root for. And I made this channel for. Yes, I'm so proud of them. Jay Conda's here. Let's see. Let's go, Raptors. We are on an upswing now. Let's show the damn NBA who we are. That's right. That's right. Be relentless. Like Chris talking about our shooting woes recently. It's like it sucks because everybody got into a bad shooting place recently all at the same time. And that's why we look so bad. And Chris said a couple times, we just need to shoot better. He said that. He's like, we are shooting so bad. We just need to shoot better. And when we shoot better, we're going to be fine. And Chris making that three in the last game, that's really good, making that three. So we're seeing some signs of you guys getting out of this shooting problem. And I really like to think that Joe Wisecamp's showing up and just having that kind of air to him, maybe just rubs off in practice and gives you guys a little more confidence in some ways, just from him being around. In fact, sometimes that can happen without even the guy even playing, is that there's just something about it and there's a switch. And I'd like to think that the turning point was on Saturday when we signed Joe and he came in, and now things are going to be way better. Let's watch and see if we win a lot since Joe Wisecamp's on our team now. And it may not even be him on the court doing it. It just may be a little bit of an influence from him and how he carries himself. G saying there are really young players and some older vets. They can work together, like each and respect each other. Not everyone hangs out with their supervisor. Doesn't mean they don't like and respect each other. Yeah. There's people just want to pull them apart or make some sort of problems or issues. Some people are just such huge Scotty fans that they got to tear down everybody else and around them. It's like that's your MO for your real life, isn't it? That you have to feel good about yourself by tearing down the people around you to put yourself above them. Yeah, that's probably what's going on with this whole phenomena of propping Scotty up and putting down Fred, somebody that we know specifically I'm talking about right here. That's what I'm saying. It's like, what is that? Why do you have to tear down other people around you to elevate yourself? That's not really elevating yourself. You're just kind of pushing people down to make yourself look better. And there's no reason to do that. This is a family. These guys are on a team. They all want to each other to do better. In fact, it's kind of crazy because their connectivity and their togetherness is really a huge part of their key to success. So there's no reason to be splintering off or having grudges or having problems. The more they're connected, the more they love playing together, boom, the better things are on the court. So yeah, they really do understand this, and that's why they're building it more like that in the feelings. Cool Cat saying, "Good morning, Raptor Free Crew. East ranking is very competitive. We can do this." That's right. It's very jammed up. We're a half game out of the play-in right now. That means we control our destiny. We win tonight. We're in the play-in no matter what. We will leapfrog the Bulls, I believe, into their spot, into the play-in. So let's see that happen tonight. Race Mode Daily is here. Race Mode Media. Good morning, freaks. How is this season pacing compared to last year? Short memory here. It does seem like this season, the games have been coming fast and furious. But we also have to remember last year, there was a period of time in the middle of the season around December where games got canceled and postponed. And then we had this really weird flurry of games where we had like 2 back-to-backs with only 1 day separated between them, 4 games and 5 nights. So we don't really have anything like that this year, but that was really because of postponements last year. But it did seem like the games were very jammed up together last year, more than this year. I like this every other day thing that we're doing this week. It's really much better than having some sort of weird back-to-back at some point this week. And once again, I said this week, the schedule going out for the Raptors at this point is easier than most teams in the league. We have one of the easiest schedules by travel, by not having to play teams on the back-to-back in certain ways, by this record of the teams we're playing. There's a lot of things set up for us to have a very high win percentage going out for the rest of the year. So don't be surprised if this is what happens, because in some ways they front loaded our schedule with the absolute most horrible, toughest stuff. And we really have weathered the storm to get to this point in some ways. And we made it in some ways where we would have, a lesser team would have self-destructed and been one of the worst teams in the league right now. But we are bad record-wise, but we are not one of the worst teams in the league right now because we kept it together and we're ready to show that we're still together and we are still a very high functioning badass team that should be in the playoffs. So that's what I'm seeing. Calipunt saying, "Hell yes, fans who just bash players online are pathetic. They should get a real hobby." I know. Think about all the other things they could direct that energy into. That's productive, helpful, like building instead of destroying. That is something that everybody should kind of think about with what they're doing in their lives. It's like, is this something creative or something that builds something positive and adds to the world instead of taking away from it? Or being selfish or being ugly or just like pushing more hate or anger towards other people. That's what you got to really think about. They've been critical of me for saying, "Oh, I hate." Well, I do hate negative people that are coming at our players and our players' families because I'm sorry. I just have no tolerance for that. That is really a big no-no to me because family, they didn't buy into being in the public life. Maybe some of them are in the public life a little bit, but they're not really the public figure. Their family member is their husband, their father, their brother. And that's why it's like, listen, the player you can criticize, the player you talk about, but don't ever step to the family, and especially if you're criticizing that their family member, because that is just like, that's just mean. Like, you want somebody to come to you and start talking trash about your father or your mother or your sister, and just out of the blue on social media and coming at you, yeah, you're going to react the same way too. So if there's a biggest lesson to be learned in the fans this week, is don't go after any player's family, please. You guys are idiots that did that this week. Seriously, all of you. And I hate you. I'll double down on it. I'll say it over again. I hate you for coming after Shanika Young. I hate you for coming after Fred VanVleet's family. You assholes is what I'll say. Yeah. Forgetful saying, not much doing on the farm. Is that farm? Yeah, not much doing on the farm in January, so I'm studying sorcery. Wow, I love that comment so much. It's so crazy and weird. Time to put hexes on the team standing between the Raptors in fifth place. Wow. Okay, forgetful. Wow, I don't even know if I want to get into the supernatural realm of things too much on this channel. I worry about this kind of stuff in some ways. There's something that I saw online recently that I hate, and I don't want to see it, but I think it was a joke. And I do not want to believe it. I do not believe in this C word. And I don't want any of us good Raptor freaks to start believing in that C word. That C word was a problem with Fridays this season for a while. We busted that. We've had the C word bantied around with the name Casey in the last couple of years. I never liked that. I always wanted to call it Casey's Revenge. Now, listen, you do whatever you want with your sorcery that you're learning out there at the farm. You go ahead and do what I never thought I'd say that sentence on this channel, by the way. You go ahead and do whatever you're going to do with that sorcery out there. Don't tell us about it. And I don't want to get into this world of this, because this is something that your head will explode if you think too much about superstition and like the C word and things like that, because like you'll start making your life very OCD and like very set up to do certain things because you have to do this for the team to win. And I can't do that. I have to, like, at a certain point, I'm just like, dude, you're crazy. You can't do this. You're really turning to OCD, man, with your rituals of trying to help the team with superstition. You just got to cut it out. There's no reason to do that. It doesn't help or hurt any which way. It's just they play the games and they either win or they don't. But listen, whatever you're doing out there, I don't need to know. You go ahead. I think it's very fascinating that you want to learn sorcery right now. But I'm with you. Hey, whatever. I've thought about learning some of that stuff too. Some people may go, whoa, this is crazy talk. But you don't ever know what's out there in certain ways. And what an interesting comment, Forgetful. And you know what? Listen, maybe you give us an update on how they went, your sorcery. I don't know. I don't know how to deal with this. I guess you're going after Chicago. You're going after Indiana. You're going after New York. Those teams that are in the play-in right now. Maybe you're going for some of the teams up at the top too. Lolita's saying it's family, brotherhood. There's going to be conflict, but there's love and respect that balances it all. Fred says in an interview they love Precious. What a team. Yeah, that was what part of the interview is, like he was standing up for Precious, and Precious is who he is, and we just love who he is as a person, and we love Precious is what Fred said verbatim. And I love that too, Lolita. It's so cool. And this is part of it is like these guys are reaffirming that there's no problems between each other because people are trying to pull them apart in public places as far as like what they think and their hearsay about like, oh, Freddie and Scotty don't get along and this and all the bullshit that's been said recently. Well, they're showing everybody that's not true. Everybody's getting along and everybody really enjoys each other. And they're going out of their way to show that because there's so much stupid noise right now. Logical's Raptors Fanatic saying in arena, the players' family don't need to do anything. Real ones would hear and jump in and deal with it. So yeah, they definitely not pulling that same stuff in real life. Getting blocked in real life isn't painless. Yeah, I mean the crazy people that came after Russell in the game. I mean, still you're in the game and you can be heard. And if you start talking certain ways, I mean Westbrook is all right. I have no problem when you call him Westbrook. That's just childish like silliness. That's not like saying, oh, you had a baby that you lost in pregnancy, like at this point, or this stuff, some really poor personal crazy shit that some fans will say to players at courtside or to their families. There have been incidents around the NBA in the last couple of years where the families and the players have interacted with the crowd, and it's been very ugly. And that's what I'm saying. We don't need that up here in Canada. We're a very friendly, nice country. And we want, like they say at the Scotiabank Arena before they started, this is a place of love all, hate none. And we need to like be all about inclusiveness and being friendly and being a family, like positive environment when we're in the building for the games. And that, in some arenas, fans can be very ugly, say ugly shit. And, there have been repercussions. People have been banned from buildings. There have been altercations. There have been problems. We don't need that up in Canada. We're a nice country. We're nice people. And we don't need to do that. We can be rabid, incredible fans that are loud, cheering the team on in a positive way. But there's no reason to start that other stuff that we're talking about today, for sure. I found it really cool that Chris Boucher was talking about which fans are the worst in the league. And he said that Utah is one of the worst fans in the league as far as they'll say anything. And they're probably racist as hell out there at Utah. And he said he would not go to All-Star break because it's in Utah and it's cold. And he would only go if Pascal asked him to come because he's his captain. And he would do what Pascal asked him to do. But otherwise, he ain't going to be nowhere near All-Star break in Utah, Chris Boucher. I love it. Let's see. Chris said that fans do affect how they play. Cheering or even yelling airball makes them think twice about shooting. That's right. It's true. I love that Chris said that. It was like, listen, y'all, we really do help when we come to the arena and we are super, super loud. We so much help in a factor of getting their energy up and making them work harder on defense or whatever. And the airball thing, all of it, it all works. I love when he says airball. It sounds like he says herbal because of his accents. Herbal. It's like herbal remedy, Chris. Yes. Yes, sir. Tom Dick saying 100. You go, Lex. Boucher knows who's riding with the team. Joe knows all the buttons on the Noah system, maybe. Maybe Joe is the new Noah system. It's like turn the Noah system off. And Joe is this Joe. See ya, Noah. Hi, Joe. And Joe is the new shooting guru, the new guy coming out there, and just like it's all feel, baby. And it's all just his presence. It's just his vibes of confident 3-point shooting are just flowing throughout the whole team from practice. And I hope that's true. Duke Rocks is saying the Celtics last season turned their season around in the new year and got to second in the East. Raptors are way better than their record. We know this. I'm hoping we get on a run, much like Boston. Yeah, that's something that Chris talked about also is like, look, there's a lot of games that we lost just barely that if they had been added to the win column, man, it's like woulda, coulda, shoulda, but it is what it is. We dug ourselves a hole, and it's too bad we won't get some of those wins back because they were really kind of bad ones. And Chris even said, like, we were catching bad luck about when we were catching teams. They were on upswings. We were having problems. And we really was timing of when the schedule was with certain teams and how their things have happened. I mean, like I said, look at the Brooklyn Nets now. If we had our games spread out against the Nets instead of playing all 4 of them already this season, we might have gotten a chance to play them without Kevin Durant in this month that's coming up where he's going to be missing. So some of it is just really luck of timing when those two ships pass in the night. In the arenas of the NBA at that particular time, who is the personnel on deck, and whether there's water taking on which boat at which time because they're having problems. It can be very fortuitous for teams and the timing of that and what happens with their schedule and whether they win or not. And that has been a huge part of why we lost. You take in like injuries, you take in the shooting cold and everybody having problems shooting all of a sudden. You take in teams that were having problems but needed good feelings and got up going after they played us. We play teams when they're full strength, and then they play us when we're not. And, there's all that adds into what's happened with us. And there have been so many close losses this year that we're going to regret and wish we had at the end of the year, but we can't do anything about it. We just have to keep going from here and now and hopefully building the positive and making sure we win those close games, unlike the ones we lost earlier this season, which were very winnable. Let's see. Sue saying, good morning, everyone. Let's go for 3 in a row. That's right, Sue. Play it again, Sue. Check out Sue. Always dropping stuff. She did a tribute to Jeff Beck, who passed yesterday, on her channel last night. So go check that out. Play it again, Sue, honoring Jeff Beck, who just passed yesterday. Very sad to hear the passing of a great guitar legend like Jeff Beck. Wow. Yeah, but check out Sue's channel for sure. Kareem Thomas saying, protect Gary at all costs. Fuck them picks and acquired Jakob. We need to keep this thing intact and see it through. As always, fuck the Hornets. Yes, Kareem Thomas, such a passionate fan. And yes, let's send your kids, LaMelo fans, with more sadness tonight with another loss to the Raptors. Hornets, ha, 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 very quiet in the car on Tuesday night. I love it. I love it so much. Mike saying, logical Raptors smack. The Raptors won the championship in the perfect way. C words aren't real. There's logical reasons, and with the Maple Leafs thinking there's a C word, the pressure you put on the players by being the issue. Yeah, there's a lot of it compounds itself. It's like, okay, this problem with the Leafs, it's in their head, and even more at some point it becomes cultural. At some point it becomes just a characteristic of the franchise and its fans, and we don't want that. You build culture with your teams. In fact, that's what they talked about on the Hustle Play podcast. Mike Roach saying that the Raptors and the Raptor fans, the culture of the team is to win 40, 50 games a season and be one of the top teams in the league. That is our culture. That is what we've built over the last 10 years. And that's what you got to think about. What is added to your culture? Well, part of our culture was winning close games because we managed the game better than the other teams. And that was part of the reason why I was worried about our culture this season, because we're seeing a trend where we don't do that. And it's very much a pillar of our culture. You're in a close game and you're on the Raptors, you win that game. That's just a part of our culture. Just like with the Leafs, losing in the first round and having all your fans shit on you is a part of your culture. And in some ways, you're right. It compounds it and makes it harder to get out of there if it's negative culture aspects. And that's why we want to build positive culture aspects and keep all the negative culture aspects out and away from our team, because they can become part of your culture. And you don't want that. So you want positive culture aspects to your sports franchise and not negative ones, like what Mike's talking about here. Duke Rock's saying, what the fuck? Jeff Beck passed away? Yeah, I'm sorry to say that happened yesterday, Duke. That's the news that he passed away yesterday. I hate bringing you the news today, and condolences. I know that you really, really love rock and roll, and that, yeah, it's sad and sucks. When I saw that, I was really upset. Sue's saying, yes, they can't take back any of those close games. We need to move forward and keep positive, because they can't just keep thinking about all those games. Have it to let it go and move on to the next. That's right. We can't do anything about them. They're in the books. They are the way they are. Atlanta with AJ Griffin, some of these really close games that we've just barely lost, the one to Milwaukee last week. Yeah, it's just how it is. But at least we know that Nick now understands that he has to rest his starters so that they can be fresh at the end of the game and be worth playing at the best optimal level instead of being completely exhausted. And that was the biggest faux pas of those close games losing. That really was the thing that made us lose the most, was Fred did not have his legs because he was absolutely exhausted, can't make any jump shots to help us win at the end of the game. And that he really does need to use his bench for extended periods twice in both halves so that our guys are rested enough to play it at their top level in the last minutes of the game. And that really is the whole key to it right there. He's figured it out, and he'd be a dummy not to continue this trend, because it's working, first of all, and we're winning. And it was the thing that would have worked all along. It's just that he didn't trust the bench enough a month or so ago. Let's see. Fiercely's here. Good to see Fiercely Salsera. Good morning, fam. I believe we haven't won 3 games in a row, so let's start tonight. Yes to positive culture. That's right, Fiercely Salsera. I'm all about that. Yeah, have we won 3 games this year? I don't think we have. So let's change that and let's go further. Let's go even further after that. So start with tonight. Take the second game against Charlotte, which is a big accomplishment. Getting a win in the league is tough and good, a hard thing to do anyway. Let's do it and get it 2 in a row against them tonight. Evelyn's saying, with the death of Jeff Beck, we have lost a wonderful man and one of the greatest guitar players in the world. We will all miss him so much. Yes. Yes. Jeff Beck is this amazing, influential guitarist in all kinds of ways, the young guitarist, and just his music and just him being a part. He had a hand in a lot of different stuff. In fact, Rod Stewart tweeted this morning that he was brought to America by Jeff Beck and the Jeff Beck group, and that he wouldn't, may have not have ever been who he is without Jeff Beck, as far as like opening the world of music to him and Rod Stewart becoming who Rod Stewart is. So yes, the music world is mourning the passing of Jeff Beck today, and that sucks. All right, let's do the referee checks for tonight. We have 2 games tonight, as I said. The 905 are in Motor City. They're playing the Motor City team, the G League team for Detroit, and their referees are crew chief Ente Huang. We've heard that name a few times. He's actually refereed the Raptors on the main level this year. Blanca Burns and Christine Esparza are the 3 refs for the 905 game against Motor City. That's in excuse me. What city is that? That's at the Wayne State Fieldhouse. And it looks like I won't be able to watch this game because it's on ESPN Plus, but whatever. Our 3 referees for the Raptors game in Scotiabank Arena tonight, the second game against Charlotte, are Kevin Scott. Kevin Scott is the lead ref. We have not seen Kevin Scott yet this year. This will be the first time he's reffed a Raptor game this season. He's in his 13th season. He's from South Carolina. He now lives in Georgia. His favorite TV show is 48 Hours. His favorite movie is Shawshank Redemption. His favorite musician is Eric Church. His favorite book is Friday Night Lights. His favorite meal is cheese pizza. This guy is like a 7-year-old. He likes just cheese pizza. He doesn't like any toppings. This is really weird that he just wants cheese pizza. I mean, if pizza is going to be your favorite food, wouldn't you be like, have some ingredients on it somewhere or something? I mean, I'm crazy. I like anchovies on my pizza, but what? Just cheese pizza, Kevin Scott? Really? Just cheese pizza? I mean, seriously, we're going to order off the kids' meal for you, kids' menu for that. His favorite app is the Weather Channel. And if he's looking at the Weather Channel for today, it's raining in the 416. And that's good luck for the Raptors on game day. Our winning percentage when it's raining out is very, very good. We have won like 90% of our games when it's raining in Toronto that day. I paid attention, trust me. And it's very good that it's raining outside this morning. Great Barrier Reef is where he'd most like to visit. He'd like to go on an African safari. And his hidden talent is facial recognition. What the does that mean, Kevin Scott? Your hidden talent is facial recognition? What are you, AI? Are you like some sort of weird, like new computer program that's like sourcing and finding people? Facial recognition. What a weird talent to have. Very strange. All right, so let's see what his record is with us. Kevin Scott, we win 56% of the time when he is refereed in the past, and the Charlotte Hornets win 40%. So there's the split on Kevin Scott, the crew chief tonight, 56-40 for the Raptors as far as win percentage under his referee. The second ref is Tyler Ford. We have seen Tyler Ford. He's a little ref guy. He's actually really good ref for the Raptors. 9th season out of Lima, Ohio. He now lives in Indiana. His favorite TV show is Yellowstone. His favorite movie is Remember the Titans. His favorite musician is Old Dominion. He has his favorite book is The Power of a Positive Team. His favorite app is Netflix. He'd most like to visit Ireland, and he'd most like to play golf at Augusta National as his bucket list. His favorite meal is steak. So we've got a cheese pizza and a steak on the order menu so far, Tom Duke. So be ready. We need cheese pizza and a steak. Tyler likes to play golf in his free time, and he was assistant director of intramural sports at Purdue University from 2009 to 2015. He holds a bachelor's and a master's degree in sports administration from Ball State University. I think Ball State, that's where David Letterman went to university, right? Ball State, I believe that's correct. Tyler Ford is the nicest ref to us tonight. He is actually in the top 10 best refs for the Raptors in the whole entire league. We win 68% of our games when Tyler Ford is at the court, and we won the last time he was a crew chief in one of our games. I forget what game that was, but he was crew chief, and we won. So we won the last time he was out there. Meanwhile, Charlotte wins 50% of their games. So it's a 68-50 split with Tyler Ford. And our third ref is another ref we have not seen this year yet. This will be the first time we've got former pro Leon Wood is refereeing us tonight. He is the oldest ref in the ref crew tonight as the third ref, 28 seasons in the NBA from Columbia, South Carolina. He now lives in Arizona. His favorite TV show is Dun 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 Dun. Dun 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 dun. I don't even have to say what it is. Y'all know what it is. That's his favorite TV show. Favorite movie, Black Panther and The Equalizer. His favorite musician, hip hop music. That is not the answer that we're looking for, Leon Wood. What's your favorite musician? Hip hop music. Okay, who? Come on, Run DMC, Jay-Z, Kanye, who? Hip hop music. Okay, fine. All right, that's like answering what's your favorite meal? Dinner. Okay, hip hop music. He would most like to visit Africa and Australia, and his favorite meal is steak. So we need 2 steaks and a cheese pizza. That sounds like a couple out with their young kid for dinner. We need 2 steaks, one for Honey and me, and then Junior will have a cheese pizza. So there's your orders for them. Leon Wood, like I said, he has been drafted by the NBA in 1984. He was the 10th pick in the NBA draft, guys. In the draft where Hakeem Olajuwon, Michael Jordan, and Charles Barkley were all drafted in the same draft with Leon Wood, our third referee. He did play in the NBA for 6 seasons. He was on the Sixers, the Bullets, the Nets, the Spurs, the Hawks, and the Kings. And he averaged 6.5 points a game, 3 assists, and 1.2 rebounds in 274 games played in the NBA. So Leon Wood knows how about the NBA because he played in it in the 80s, y'all. And as far as his splits with us, we win 56% of the time. It's very similar to Kevin Scott. And the Hornets win 47% of the time. So it's a 56-47 split, once again in the favor of the Raptors, winning-wise. So there's your 3 refs for the game tonight. We've got Kevin Scott, crew chief, Tyler Ford, and Leon Wood are our 3 refs. We have not seen Leon Wood until this time, and same for Kevin Scott. So a little bit different refs. And then once again, we have the 905 game also. All right, let's see what y'all's reactions are to the ref report just now. It's crazy. Mike's saying, I've seen the fan pressure and culture around the Leafs ruin many good players. It's like the Lakers culture in a sense, and killing developing guys and takes certain mindsets to actually be able to play. Yes, this is very true, Mike. You can look at the New York Knicks as another example of this, where the fans, the media absolutely destroy some good things that are building in the team sometimes. Sometimes it's the outcry to make a change that hurts things. It's like the Knicks have been a knee-jerk reaction kind of team where they'll listen to the fans, and if the fans are too upset, they will go and make deals that aren't necessarily good for the team. And that's something that we can't do as a franchise here. It's just because some fans want to make a trade right now because they think that our team sucks and they just want to do something like go for Wemby or something like that. Doesn't mean we need to do that. And I'm glad that Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster are not populists. They don't listen to the fan sentiment and listen to them and try and make things right or what they want because they know it's usually folly and not the right decision. So, but this is true. You can see it from the outside with the Leafs, with the Lakers, with the Knicks. When you're a storied franchise that's been around forever, there's so many different people that want good things for you, but in some ways they're misdirected with how they go about it, and they make it even harder. It's so hard to keep good players, enough of them in New York to make the Knicks good because they get chased out of town by different people. It's like they can't all be good all at the same time. Well, somebody's going to be a scapegoat, and the fans and the media will come after them. And this is a big part of why the Lakers have not done anything with LeBron other than that bubble championship that was a sham, is because of this same phenomena also. It really is tough to navigate once you get to be a storied franchise like these, winning because there's so many things dragging you in bad, negative ways in different directions when your team is very popular and historically storied with many championships and things like that. New York, the media in that city is voracious for controversy and putting it on blast. And that is a dysfunctional problem for the New York Knicks. And that's why I'm very wary of our media here, because I don't want them mimicking or acting like New York media, because we don't need that. They may do that with the Leafs. In fact, that may be a big part of the problem with the Leafs, is the Toronto sports media being very much like the New York sports media with the Knicks towards the Leafs. And we don't want that to happen with the Raptors. So in some ways, we want to safeguard that in all kinds of different ways, whether it's keeping the culture right with what we were just talking about, or just like lashing out against negative press from people like Michael Grange, Aaron Rose, whoever that's around the team, Doug Smith. Let's see. Sue saying, sometimes I want just cheese on my pizza too. Laugh out loud. I'm sorry if I made anybody feel like wrong for liking cheese pizza. It's just, to me, that's what it's always been to me. It's like you can go on Swiss Chalet on DoorDash and they have cheese pizza from Swiss Chalet. And I'm like, well, it's on the kids menu. But listen, if you like that, in some ways, maybe it helps keep you young and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. Sue, do you go to the restaurant and say, I'll have the cheese pizza off the kids menu, but give me like 2 orders or something? I don't know. I don't know what I would do if, like, I don't know. I'm just like, if you can get pizza, get some more stuff on it. But I shouldn't judge. Maybe this is just a dumb thing that I have in my head. Cheese pizza's for all ages, Lex. What are you talking about? Well, all right, you're right. I'm sorry. Tom Duke saying pepperoni is all we serve, apparently. Yeah, that's right. You're not going to get cheese pizza from us, Kevin Scott. You're going to have at least some pepperoni on there, because that's what Tom has in his kitchen, his emoticon kitchen. It's pepperoni pizza. Monique saying, play the bench longer again. Make the starters rest. I like this against them tonight. Seriously. And once again, maybe play different bench guys this time. Last time you had your 5 bench guys be Malachi, Koloko, Wancho, Chris, and Precious. I love that Chris Precious tag team, and they should be in every time for sure. And Koloko for sure also. But those other 2 guys, Wancho and Malachi, maybe they could be switched for something like Joe Wieskamp and Thad Young or something like that. I want to see some variety of the bench guys that are coming in and being the 5 bench guys for this game tonight. Instead of just the exact same 5 guys from Tuesday, let's see 5 different guys get out there. I mean, a couple of them be the same, but maybe 2 different, something like that. Let's see. Sue agrees with Mo. Tom Duke has got the steaks. Ooh, look at those ribeyes. Wow. Those look like good pieces of meat there. And then there's the pizza. You know what, Kevin? You can just pick the pepperonis off. Just take them off, and it'll be cheese pizza. You'll be fine. Logical Raptors Fanatic saying, big facts, Lex. The Knick culture is similar in facts. Yeah, really bad. New York media is horrible for all their teams. It's the same for the Yankees. It's, a lot of it's the same for their hockey teams. The Nets, all these teams get all kinds of craziness. The Brooklyn Nets deal with this just like the Knicks, but the Knicks are historically the one that deals with it the worst. But Brooklyn gets the same treatment. That whole Kevin Durant thing last year and Kyrie Irving and this stuff, yeah, that was just huge fun for New York media. Oh my gosh, they love all that shit. Sugar Ray saying, trade Fred and keep Gary. All right, Sugar Ray, we'll take you down as a note that you want us to trade Fred. Well, I'm not with that. We're staying with El Capitan. And the reason why is he has intangibles and leadership and skills acquired, and he is a part of our team. He is a part of the ensconced players that Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster value and want to keep around. Trust me. I don't think we're going to trade Fred. I think that'll piss a lot of Fred haters off, and that's fine with me because I'm not trying to please y'all. I'm trying to please us by getting more wins, and Fred VanVleet is a proven winner. And he may have had a hard slide recently, but he's going to come right back, and he's going to be amazing, and he's going to make everybody forget that they even wanted to trade him. I'm serious. This is going to happen because he's got all these intangibles and important things. And one of the things that Chris talked about in Hustle Play this week is also when guys play together for a long time, they get better together. And that's something why you don't want to change your roster and your players like you change your underwear every day or all this stuff. People have such short patience in this instant gratification world that we live in right now. We got to go through the bumps with him, ups and downs, because those ups, when they come back around again, woo, they're going to be so nice. And listen, I trust Fred to make big shots later in the game than most players in this whole entire NBA. That's just has been his MO, and he is going to be doing that more and more as the season continues. So I am against the first part, but I am definitely for keeping Gary also. And we can try and figure out to keep both of them. That'd be great. But it may not be realistic. And so Sugar Ray's down for sending Fred out and keeping Gary if we have to choose between the two of them. It is noted, and I'm not upset with you for saying that because it is a sentiment that's very common around Raptors fans right now. Even though I don't think it's a smart idea, I really don't. Because once again, I say Fred, he holds the treasure map to getting back to the gold that Larry O'Brien, because he is the one with the knowledge and the person that can go do it. Yeah. All right, let's see. Tom Duke saying, hot take, coming in, keep them all and win. Tom Duke can read my mind ahead of time and know that's probably what I'm going to say. Sue's saying, I should try that next time. I want cheese pizza. Not sure they would let me order off the kids menu, but I should try. Quite a bit cheaper, huh? Maybe. I mean, I would get, I don't know, maybe the little amount may be enough. I don't know. It's like me personally, if I was there and I saw and I wanted cheese pizza and I saw the menu, I may order like 3 orders myself. But I like to just chow, like go crazy. And I don't know how much they're sending with the little kids pizza. Maybe like just one little slice. I don't know. Sometimes parents don't even care that the kid gets a lot of food. They just want to keep them occupied while they eat. All right, let's see. Line Hunter saying everyone trying to decide between trading Fred and Gary. They play different positions. It's not as simple as just choosing between them. Raptors have 0 point guard depth. Yeah, in some ways we really got it. They're both kind of integral and like not easy to give up either one of them. I don't think we should give up Gary right now, like the way he's playing and how good he is. And Fred is the same kind of thing. Once again, there are intangibles about Fred that nobody's respecting or taking into account when they just think, oh, let's just get rid of him. They think of all the bad things about him, but they don't realize exactly how many important good things he is. And he's a huge part of upholding the culture of our team. That he is the one who took the culture lessons about who the Raptors are and what they're supposed to be doing from Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan. And he upholds those cultures now and the standards that the Raptors should be playing at. So, yeah, I'm with Lion Hunter. Lion Hunter's been just on point for like a few months now. Everything Lion Hunter's saying, I'm 100% with, because he's just been on point lately for sure. Sue's saying Fred will be back. And honestly, we have struggled as a team. One guy has not been the reason we have struggled. We will work through it and get back to being more consistent. Yes, I totally believe this. And that's what Chris is saying too. He's like he said at one point, yeah, we're back. We're going to be ready and we're back. And Mike Roach was like, you're back? You really think you're back the way you guys are playing right now? And he's like, yeah, we've been back this whole time. It's just it hasn't been clicking to winning right now. Chris sees it from the inside and that he understands that this team is on the right track. And they're this close, like we've been saying, they're this close to winning a lot of those games that they just barely lost. And that they really are back to like who they feel like they should be inside. They just have to prove it and show up more and more on the court with the results of the games. And then the fans will be like, oh, yeah, they are back. But Chris is already saying and this is before they won the first game against Charlotte. They filmed it on Monday. He's saying they're already back. Even after beating Portland, he felt like that. So, yeah, I think they're back too. And that people don't realize it yet. And it's just we are ahead because we're paying so closely attention to them every day that, the casual Raptor fan may not realize this, but they're back. They're back and they're going to be back. And they're going to be winning a lot now going forward. They really are. G saying Nurse said Gary is such a pro. I really loved hearing Nick Nurse talk about Gary Trent Jr. yesterday because we don't talk about Gary enough between Masai, Bobby, and Nick. He really does get forgotten about with people like Siakam, Fred, Scotty, OG around. That he's kind of the guy that doesn't get any shine. And I really loved hearing Nick give him so much credit for being the ultimate professional in this season, and that it cannot be easy, his position that he's in. He knows he's on the trade block. He knows he's very likely to get traded. and he's still being the utmost professional. And that is a real true testament to him. In fact, in his interview, he said, I learned this from my dad. My dad showed me how to carry myself and how to be a pro. And kudos to you, Gary Trent Sr., for raising your son to be such a good NBA player and such a professional player, because he really is doing himself the best justice for himself and the money he's going to get by being this way, because it is really optimal. A lot of guys in this position would either have trouble and struggle because of the pressure, and he's not. A lot of these guys would have problems with like getting up for playing for a team that they may not be playing for in a couple of weeks. But none of that has been a problem for Gary. He's he's a pro, and he really is. And I appreciate Nick Nurse acknowledging that in his interview yesterday, talking about him. And also love hearing Gary talk about his dad and giving him all of the honors and credit for him being who he is as a player. Mike saying facts, Sue, and Lion Hunter. Facts, just facts. All right, let me do the next part of the journey on the preview. It's the real Mascot match. Well, the last time we saw the real Mascot, he was walking through the woods with a hippie from Portland, Pacific Northwest, a trailblazer of some sorts. He probably has some mucilix in his bag somewhere and maybe a hacky sack. And he's just a nice dude. He's a cool dude. He actually patched up the Raptor. I forgot to tell you, he actually used natural herbs and plants from around where they were to heal his nicks, his wounds from the 52-point buck antlers in his back. And that's how part of how he helped him. But this guy's also a little aloof and crazy and goofy. And he threw a rock at a hornet's nest, and that hornet's nest is a buzz coming after them, very upset from knocking that hornet's nest out of the tree. And all of them are swarming, and they're chasing the Raptor and his hippie friend from the Pacific Northwest, the Trailblazer. And they're running after them. And the Trailblazer and the Raptor decide while they're running, let's split up and see if the Hornets will maybe just chase one of us and get away. Well, they split up. And for some reason, I guess maybe because the Trailblazer's kind of a hippie, he's kind of got like dirt coating. They can't smell him or sense him. So they all chase the Raptor. Maybe it's a little bit because there's still fresh blood coming out of his back or something like that. Well, unfortunately, the Trailblazer's fine, and he's gone, and I actually doesn't see him ever again. Like they run so far apart that he doesn't see him. Like they're separated now, and the Hornets have decided to continue to chase the Raptor. That, oh my gosh! Well, at least he helped his friend who helped him get him shook off the Hornets, but they're still coming after him. So what's going to happen with just them all after him? How will the Raptor avoid getting stung too much by the Hornets tonight? We'll have to find out next time on the Real Mascot Matchup. He's separated now from his friend, and now he's still got to deal with these Hornets one more time. Let's see what happens. Oh, yeah, there you go. Bam, bam, bam. Real Mascot Matchup. Let's see. Fiercely saying, agreed. Gary Trent Jr. has a very professional way of answering questions and always said, whatever coach wants, I'll do. Yeah. Yeah. This is just a smart pro. And like in some ways, he was programmed that way since he was a little kid. That really is like right from the start. Gary Trent Sr. knows what it takes and what you should do when you're in the NBA. And he programmed him at a very young age. He's like, look, if you're in the NBA, you got to be this way. You got to be this way, Gary, and this way. And he listened to him. He was a very good student. And you can tell he's very much listened to his dad. One of the things I really like that Gary said is like one of the things his dad taught him was to love all and not be a hater and not have enemies. And you see it in the court. Like guys will slight Gary. Gary, at one point, I forget what player, he tried to reach down a hand to help a guy get up from the other team, and he refused his hand. He brushed him off. And Gary didn't respond. He didn't get upset. There's been other times where people have kind of gotten Gary's face, or maybe the refs have not been nice to him and given him calls, and no kind of like emotional response, just always still real even keeled and dialed into the game in the way that he should be, instead of like getting, rattled or some sort of like emotional response where it takes away from his game. He's very smart in this way. And that philosophy of share the love and hate none is very much true to him too. He does not have enemies in the game, even though some guys probably want to be enemies with him because they don't like him. He doesn't take the bait, and he's a share the love guy, just like Scotty. They just want to share the love, all positivity, and they're not about making enemies around the league, and they're not about like having, because Scotty's the same way. He's talked about it this past summer. He's like, I don't hate anybody in the NBA. He's like, I don't hate Joel Embiid, guys. Yeah, just because he stepped on my ankle, that hurt, and it was a real big deal. But I don't hate him. We're all players in this league, and there's no reason for me to have any grudges or hating people. And even though y'all may hate Joel Embiid, I do not. Scotty made that very clear this summer. It was really interesting and fun. But yeah, whatever coach wants, I'll do. That's the ultimate professional. And that's what we get from a lot of our players. They're very much this way. Kareem's saying our bench is going to continue to overpower opposing teams. Backups, we are honestly so deep. And when Nurse is staggering the lineups, we become even more dangerous. Just hope Nurse remains creative. Yeah. Yeah. And like, seriously, try different guys. I really, really want to see Joe. I want to see what he can do on the NBA level for us. And if he can be a kind of a Matt Thomas quick threes all of a sudden for our team in any given moment, that may be a weapon that may be very valuable for later in the season. That we may need somebody who's really good at threes in that kind of role down the road off the bench. So I hope he does play him. Monique saying Gary credits dad, of course, which he should. You read my mind here. Yeah, Gary Trent Sr. is everything to Gary Trent Jr. And as wild as Gary Trent Sr. is with his Instagram and some of the stuff he's saying and calling out people, some of his memes, all that kind of stuff, well, he really built a really well-grounded young junior of his son. So I'm really proud of Gary Trent Sr. and Gary Trent Jr. with how he carries himself because of his dad's guidance. Jimmy Pope saying, hope you have a blast tonight, Lex. Let's make it win number 3. Let's go. Woo. I don't think I'm going to go, Jimmy. I think I'm not feeling well. And, there's not a whole lot of interest in meeting up to go to the game tonight, unfortunately. And I don't have tickets actually yet. I was really going to go down there and wing it. And I'm also kind of looking at my bank account and stuff. So I don't know if I'm actually going to make it there tonight, unfortunately. I was going to go, but in some ways, it's not really feeling like it's the right game for me to get to. So I hate it. I might regret it if we lose tonight and I didn't go. I shouldn't say something like that. And Logical saying 2 things with Gary that could keep him here: showing playmaking improvement, which Powell never did, got traded, improving defensive decisions and consistent defensive effort. That was part of what Nick was saying, that he really likes how much Gary has developed since he's been here. Like the whole defensive side of things really showed something to him. And he wants him to continue to have that consistently, or he's no good to the Raptors. If he doesn't always play the optimal level at the defensive end, then he's not going to be a Raptor. That's what Nick said earlier this season. So that is a really big part of it all. He's got to do that side of the floor for sure to be able to be still on our team and stuff. So I'm Shanky saying it was Mo Bamba. That was who, Gary tried to put his hand down to try and help up in Orlando. Yeah, I believe that. David's saying he might not hate him, but he would trade his ass immediately. Y2K tells the truth. He might not hate him, but he would trade his ass immediately. I don't totally understand that comment, David. Who's saying that? Who are you quoting? Trade his ass immediately. I'm trying to remember that. Jimmy Pope saying, okay, well, enjoy the game however you watch it. Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's raining. I don't feel, like I said, I haven't been feeling well the last couple of days. And also, like, money. It's money. I got to watch money, and I don't really want to like spend a huge amount of money on a ticket and getting down there and back. In some ways, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyway, guys, I think that's most of the preview. Let's get it done before 90 minutes. I'll just go a recap over everything. Just make sure I didn't miss anything. The injuries for tonight are the same. Gordon Hayward and Kelly Oubre are out for the Hornets. On our side, it's just Otto Porter Jr. Meanwhile, Delano Banton and Ron Harper Jr. should be with the 905 playing against Detroit's G League team tonight. They are playing in Wayne State Fieldhouse, 7 o'clock tip-off. Raptors 905 at Motorcity Cruise. Referees for tonight. First in the G League, the referees for that Motorcity game are Ente Huang, Blanca Burns, and Christine Esparza. And the referees for the main roster Raptors are Kevin Scott, Tyler Ford, and Leon Wood. Not a bad ref crew for the Raptors. They all favor us over the Charlotte Hornets statistically. So hopefully that'll be a well-called game tonight. I appreciate everybody for joining me today for this preview for the second game against the Charlotte Hornets here in Toronto here on this Thursday night. I hope everybody has a great day in the city. And please like, comment, subscribe, and share my channel if you enjoy my content. All right, y'all. Have a great Thursday. And thank you, Chris Boucher, for your great and amazing Hustle Play podcast. It is just such a great window to your mind and hearing how you feel and what you see and what you perceive. In fact, a level of openness about how honest you are about the interaction with fans and how much we really do have an impact on the team is very illuminating. Most players would not divulge this. They may think it's true. They may be true, but they would never admit it in the past. Well, Chris, being such an open and honest, real guy, is telling us the truth about how the fans do affect the team. And I wish you guys would listen to him, that they do hear the noise and they don't like the negativity when they're already down. In fact, they are calling out for us to be good, positive fans to help prop them up and get them back going in the right direction. So please, if you're that kind of fan that's negative or coming at them and making things worse, please take a step back or just be quiet. Or maybe modify your behavior to be a little bit more positive and helping them build towards good things happening for them. What are your motives? Do you want the Raptors to win more championships? Do you want them to be a playoff team? Do you want them to be the best that they can be? Then you're with us. But if you just want to have people to be trolls with, you want to be a little snarky asshole, you want to be like, controversial in your own way, or you want to be a champion for free speech, and I'm allowed to say whatever I want, even if it's asinine, stupid, and not helpful and destructive. You go ahead, you be that person, and I will hate you. Once again, I will double down on the hate for my adversaries and the people that are the opposite of me in Raptors fan spaces. Y'all are assholes, and y'all need to be more positive Raptor fans. And we aren't standing for it no more because we don't want a culture in our city around our team like the Knicks have, the Lakers have, like the Leafs have. We don't want that toxic shit. So y'all get your toxic asses out of here. We hate you. I'll keep doubling down on that. I don't care. Hate is a strong word. Well, you're going directly in between what I want for the Raptors when you cause these problems. Idiots out there. So there you go. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Blackhawk saying we stopped helping opponents anyways since Mathurin disrespect. OG. Yeah. OG's awesome. OG's a great shooter. And I can't wait to see him make all these shots that he is intending to make because he doesn't shoot to miss. That's right. Yeah, in the Indiana game, we saw something with Mathurin. We're like, listen, this guy's taking over. He's a rookie. He's getting good calls, and he just helped the Indiana Pacers beat us. What the fuck? We need to do this ourselves. There's been a lot of turning points and a lot of lessons that have been tough for the Raptors recently. But these are good lessons for a young Scott Wayne Barnes to learn in his early career and learn that losing sucks and you hate it and you don't want to do it. And these are all the possible ways you could lead to losing in really bad ways. So learn them and avoid them at all costs down the road. Logical saying Blackhawk, no doubt. Bite me once, shame on you. Bite me twice, shame on me. That saying is always so silly to me. Forgetful saying my first team was the Warriors when they were in Philly. Whoa, that's like in the way, way back. Holy crap. Then the 76ers, after teams moved around, in those days, the winning was about wilt. Can't shoot free throws, etc. Not much changes over time. Wow, forgetful. I'm like starting to learn more about your age because if you were around when Philadelphia Warriors were around, that's a long, long time ago. Much respect. And yeah, Wilt was never a really good free throw shooter. He did try at some points. I think he had one season where he really tried to be a really good free throw shooter, and he had like a good free throw shooting time. But a lot of these big guys have always been bad free throw shooters. Shaq, there's guys in the league now that you hack a Shaq philosophy them because it's really smart. Like Giannis in a way is like that to a degree. Monique saying W Stream Lex, let's go. Always keep at it. Thank you, Monique. And it's people like you that keep me going. I appreciate you. Tom Duke saying, keep chipping away, boys. Boom, boom, boom. Explosions. Let's go, Raptors. Cheers. Freak family. Yes, thank you. Tom Duke saying, forgetful doesn't forget. Obviously. Wow. That is history lesson right there. You're talking about Philadelphia Warriors. That was a team you were rooting for. That had to have been like, oh my gosh, Golden State went over and I want to say like in the 70s, in the early 70s, maybe. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Respect, forgetful. Respect. All right, y'all. Have a great day. And let's go, Raptors. Let's beat the Charlotte Hornets tonight. Let's no messing around. This is all business. We beat them once. We're going to beat them again. Take care of business. No messing around. You just need to win tonight, Raptors. This game is so important for you to win. So important to win. Must win games right now. Tonight, once again, 3-game winning streak. Let's get it tonight, Raptors. Let's go!